Hey, so now I wanted to talk to you a little bit specifically about where Hanukkah comes from. So after a lot of these battles have ensued, uh, the Seleucids, the Greeks, have been largely pushed out of Judea, and Judas goes about, to finish this act, he goes about restoring the temple, re-sanctifying the temple, re-purifying the temple, even just like cleaning the temple up. First Maccabees states that by this time the temple had been fallen into disrepair. It wasn't being respected as God's house. There was a foreign altar set up in the temple. It says there were weeds growing up through the floor, just hadn't really been taken care of. So Judas and his soldiers head into the temple, and they make quick work at disposing of the Greek priests who are there, who they feel have been desecrating the temple, and they go about just setting things back to rights. One of the things that's interesting that they set up, that Maccabees is clear about, is that the temple of God has an altar constructed of uncut stones. The best way to think about this would be to imagine, if any of you have ever been on a hike and you've been following cairns around, the altar in the temple of God, according to Jewish law, is to be constructed basically as a giant cairn, so just a bunch of stones stacked up on top of each other. So Judas literally goes through the act, a very powerful symbolic act that has a pragmatic reason behind it, of knocking down this old altar that had been crafted by human hands and sending people out to go pick out some stones, carry them back into the temple to set up this altar made of uncut stones. When all of this work has been complete, all the cleanup has happened, all the weeds have been pulled out of the floor, all the bodies hauled away, they remember that in Exodus 20 and in Exodus 24 there's a command to always have a light burning in the temple on this lamp. They realize that they only have one container of purified oil, the rest of them have been desecrated. And they also realize that it takes 7 days to purify some new oil. So they say a prayer to God, light that last container of oil, and begin the work of purifying the new oil. The miracle of Hanukkah, of course, is that that one container of oil stays lit for the day, plus the extra 7 days that it takes to purify new oil. Hence the miracle of Hanukkah, the one that we still remember today.